Good afternoon,
Good
all of you.
afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. So in the previous class already we have studied about how to divide the screens into number of parts by using frame set. Already we have studied the frame set and already I explained that how to split the screen into vertical lines and horizontal lines or something like this. So in the today's class I am going to discuss about HTML lists. So that is the list of items. So generally whenever you see the wherever you go, you can find the list. For example, your parents. So suppose when you are going to supermarket, right? So they can give one list of items. So then you have to write it, right? So on that cases we are writing that is the 1 2 3 4 item number 1 2 3 4 up to n numbers. So in that case, suppose if you want to add one item, if you want to delete another items like this. So in the same way, so on the web page, suppose if you want to represent the, so that is the list of items. So in that cases, so suppose sometimes you can see that in the web pages, event handling. So some the events organized. So they can give 1 2 3 4 up to like this. So if you want to display the list of items on the screen, so we can use the separate tags that for list. So HTML offers web authors three ways for specifying the list of information. So all list must contain one or more list of elements. That list must contain one or more elements. A list may contains either that is the unordered list or ordered list or a definition of the list. So here is unordered list. Unordered list means, so sometimes simply we can give the first come first serve basis. For example, so here is I want to maintain the list of students, those who have submitted the assignment and those who are not submitted attendance. So simply what I will do, so I can write the names of that assignment submitted students. So that is the 1 2 3 4 5 up to like this. So after that I can write so not submitted students list. So here is the when you are using this, but there is no order I can follow. So there is no order I am following, because here is there is no alphabetical order. I am not giving any roll numbers for all the students. So that is called unordered list. That is called unordered list. So while I am teaching, so then I will ask the questions. No, so then also, so I will call the students. So suppose not in the sequential order. So that is called unordered list. But how to represent unordered list in the, so that is the web page, right? So for example, when you go to the market, right? So you are purchasing some vegetables. So then there is no sequence particular order. Simply we can write the 1 2 3 like this, right? So another one is the ordered list. Ordered list means, so this will use different schemes of numbers to list your items. Ordered list means, so same thing you can see that in the attendance register we are writing your name, roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3 like this. That means we are specifying the order. So that is the ordered list. Or sometimes we can give the roll number 1, Roman numbers 1 2 3 4 up to now we are giving. Our roll number, suppose 1 2 3 4 numbers we are giving like this, right? So sometimes, so that is called ordered list. And the definite list means this arranges your elements in the same way as arranged in a dictionary. So whatever we are using the dictionary, so then in the dictionary, how we can arrange the elements? So for example, they can give the one word and same thing they are writing meaning of that word, right? So suppose here is the strength or something like this, a go or went or something. Suppose when you are giving that, so we are giving the word and immediately we are giving the meaning. So in the same way, so if you want to write that word in the web page, suppose HTML. So within the bracket you have to write, so hypertext markup language, HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. So if you want to display the full form as well as that, so that is, so we can use the DL tag, right? So here is, I think, three types of lists we can use on the screen. For example, so you see that, so whenever you see that, for example, so here is, you see that Unordered list. Unordered list means sometimes we can see the list like this. HTML unordered list, we are using, that is the thing. Or here is we can use the squares, or here is we can use the circles, or bullet points we can use. Suppose if it is an unordered list, so we can use the bullet points. We can use bullet points. So that is the unordered list we can display on the web page. Or suppose ordered list. Suppose when you are using ordered list, we can give like this 1 2 3 4 5, and here is 1 2 3 4 5. Here is the 1 2 3 4 5 Roman numbers we are giving. A small Roman numbers we are giving, or otherwise A B C D, that is the sequential order. Suppose here is, this is called ordered list. So that is the ordered list, we can call it like this, right? So this is the ordered list. And the definition means you can see that HTML, this stands for hypertext markup language. HTTP, this stands for hypertext transfer protocol, like this. So that means here is exactly what we are doing. So if you want to display the items, any list of items on the web page, either you can use unordered list, ordered list, or dictionary based list. So that is the dictionary based list. So unordered list. Unordered list means simply we can use the bullet points. So in front of that we can use the bullet points. We won't follow any order. Either so suppose either in the ascending order, not in the descending order, not alphabetical order, we won't give any numbers. So that is ordered means, so we can follow some sequence. You can give the 1 2 3 4 or something like this, A B C D number wise, or definitions like this. Suppose if you want to display this kind of things on the web page, but how to display, what tags we are using, right? So in this class, so I will go in depth about this, how to display the list, ordered list, unordered list, and so that is the dictionary based list, right? Have understood that? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Here you see that. So for displaying that unordered list is a collection of related items that have no special order or no special sequence. Unordered list means there is no special order, there is no sequence. This list is created by using HTML tag, that is the UL tag. UL means unordered list, UL tag. Each item in the list is marked with bullet points by default. Suppose if you are not specifying anything, so that will be taking the bullet points that will be taking. So that is the, now you see that, for example, so here is, whenever you see that I am not using only simple list, I am using. The following is examples where we use the UL. Here is HTML, header part is okay, within the body. So here is, I mentioned that UL. I mentioned that UL. So UL is a unordered list. It specifies unordered list. Within the list, we can use LI. LI tag can be used to display only single item. So single item in the unordered list. So here is LI and beetroot. We are taking that LI/LI, this tag. And for ginger, LI, tag LI, ginger LI. And next LI, potato/LI. LI, radish/this one. And here is, so the same thing, it is a paid list. UL is a paid list. So then here is, we are closing this. When you execute this program, so you can get the output is like this. You can get output is like this. But beetroot, ginger, potato, radish. So that here is, you see that a circle. So that is the, so bullet points are there. Bullet points by default. If it is an unordered list, by default it takes the, so that is the bullet points of this one. ఇక్కడ చూసినప్పుడు ఏంటంటే మనకు ఒక లిస్ట్ ఇచ్చామనుకోండి ఏదైనా కానీ, సో ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసేసిన డిస్క్ ఆర్ సర్కిల్ బై డిఫాల్ట్, సో ఇట్ టేక్స్ ది సర్కిల్. Have understood that? Now you see that I will explain that. I will execute and I will show the program. And here is the same program I have written, same program for unordered list, right? So whatever items, if you want to keep in between UL or closed UL tag. So that consider it as a list of items. That consider it as a list of items. So for example, so in your class, suppose 48 students are there. So then when you are using that 48 students, if I want to list all the students' names and roll numbers, so then I can use either ordered list or unordered list. Suppose UL, within the UL I can write, so suppose here is Adnan or Amruta or something like this, right? So in the special order we can use this one. So that is the bullet point we can use. By default circle will be taking. But most of the lists, so suppose we can observe, so in somewhere you can use three types of symbols, that is the bullet points we can use in the HTML. We can use three types of bullet points. So that is the, so UL, within that we can write one attribute. That attribute is type. UL type is equal to square. Square means in front of the letter it will display the square. So type is equal to disk. So that means a disk type, that is a circular, and the center lo black vastundi. So circle. So circle means that is the full thing. So by default it takes the disk. By default it takes the disk. A circle means unfilled circle. Disk means that is the filled circle. Disk or square. For example, you see that. So in that case, if I want to print the output like this, the bullet point I have to keep as square. I have to keep as square. So then within the tag I can use that. So UL type is equal to square. UL type is equal to square. Is it visible, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it chudandi? As this is the unordered list, right? This is unordered list. So here is I want to print, that is the squares. In front of this, here is I have to print the squares. So if I want to print the squares, I can use UL type is equal to square. Type is equal to square means, so all the values will be printed like this. So this is the, so this is the square. For example, in front of this letter, suppose if I want to use, so that is the bracket, so that is the circle. So then here is I am using the disk. So disk means only, you can see that disk means, so we can use the disk. Suppose you see that here is up to, so this is the list, we can call it as a list. UL is equal to UL is equal to we say that. So this is the UL. We can say that UL type is equal to disk. By default, suppose if you are not using type, if you are not using the type, so then it displays only, so that is the disk, or otherwise you can specify it as a disk. Have understood that? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
సో ఇక్కడ మనం ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ఏంటంటే డిస్క్ అనేది మనం ఇక్కడ, సో దాన్ని ఇన్ఫ్రంట్ ఏదైతే పెట్టాలనుకుంటున్నామో దాన్ని మనం డిస్క్ అంటున్నాం అంతే. ఇంకా సో మిగతాది అనేది ఇక్కడ ఏం లేదు. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓన్లీ థింగ్ ఇస్ వీఆర్ కీపింగ్ ఇట్ as a so disk of this one. So that is the UL type is equal to disk. So this is very easy, only here itself the name will be changes. Or suppose the following is example is the circle. Suppose in front of this you can print the circle. You see what is the difference between circle and disk? What do you mean by disk here? Already we know disk is filled circle. So that is the circle is unfilled circle. Unfilled circle. So square means everyone knows that square. That means here is, so UL type is equal to circle. But when you are displaying this, so you can get the output like this. So suppose in front of the list, so we can follow the bullet points. So in unordered list, so we can specify three types of bullet points. One is the disk, second one is the circle, and third one is square. So I understood that. So this is the unordered list. This is called unordered list. So this is called unordered list. So next one is, suppose you see that already I have shown that example, and here is you can see that. So unordered list. Now you see the same for all the things I executed this same thing. Now you see this program. So HTML header and the title is unordered list, and close the header, and within the body I wrote that H1. So HTML unordered list, HTML unordered list. So after that within the body I wrote UL. So that is the UL means unordered, but I did not specify any type, right? So here is I written LI /li, closing tag and opening tag. Up to this it is a one list. It is a one list. So then here is I am not specifying any type, means it takes the bullet. And the second one is, so the same thing. So for the same list I apply the type is equal to square. I apply type is equal to square. So that's why here is when you are using the square. So in front of that name it print the square. And next here is again I am using, so UL is equal to type is equal to disk. So within LI and /li. So next here is I am using circle. So then here is, so that is the four type of things I have mentioned. And next when you are executing this, suppose you take that, suppose when you are executing that you are getting like this. So this is the first I written the heading. And first default without specifying the type. So I wrote that is the in front of that by default is disk. And next you see that square. So that is output, you can see the square of this in front of that name we are getting square. And next here is again disk R and here is circle. So suppose that is depending upon you. So your list, either you can use the bullet points or either squares, or you can use the disk. It is unordered list we can display on the screen. This is the unordered list we can display on the thing. I think I have understood that.
Yes, sir.
Arthamaindamma?
Yes, sir.
List of items. Suppose if you want to mention that list of items on the website or web page, then you can use unordered list. Or suppose sometimes, so compulsory you have to specify the 1, 2, 3. For example, so if you want to give the ranking, so that is the first rank, second rank, third rank, like that. Or suppose in the subjects also in a 1, 2, 3, 4 order you have to specify according to roll numbers. Then you have to specify the roll number also. So for that purpose, here we can use ordered list. So in ordered list, if you are required to put your item in a numbered list instead of bulleted points, then that is called ordered list, right? Instead of using bullet points, when you are specifying the number, either it may be, so that is the 1, 2, 3 -n, or Roman 1, 2, 3s, or small a to Z, or capital A to Z, like this. If you want to specify the order of the items within the list, if you want to specify the order of the items, we can use a OL. Here is the OL tag is used to display, so that is the ordered list of items. The numbering start at 1 and is increased by 1 for each successive ordered list elements. That is, so with the tag LI. So that means here is by default it starts from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. In unordered list, by default it starts with the disk bullet, but here is in ordered list, by default it starts with 1 and it ended with the number 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, right? So this is the ordered list. So but when you see that ordered list, and this can be represented by using tag of OL, opening tag and closing tag, we can use the same OL tag. Each individual item can be represented with the LI tag, that is the list LI tag, and OL means ordered list. So for example, you see that before that, so then you see the execution of ordered list. And here is when you see that ordered list. So first the previous case and this case, you see that. So numbers are given by default. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4 because 4 items are there. 1 dot beetroot, 1 dot like this. So second one is same 1, 2, 3 are given. So here is the roll numbers. So that is the Roman numbers. The sequence of items are represented with the Roman numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same thing Roman numbers with the small letter, with the roll number with the small letters. ABC. So order can be specified like this: A, B, C, D, or something like this. So that is the so small ABC also. Suppose if you are giving the grade, so we can give the grade like this: A plus plus, right? A plus A, B, C, D, E, F, or something like this. Suppose when you see that your grade is C, but we can't think that he is the class topper. Suppose when you see that grade is A plus plus, then is like that. So we are mentioning the sequence of order. That's why here is you can take the alphabetical order. If you want to print the list with any one of the order, either with it may be preceded by either numbers or capital Roman numbers or small Roman numbers or capital alphabets or small alphabets. So but how do you specify this ordered list? So this is thing. So I think you understood that. Okay, so here is in the ordered list. First you see that, so this is the program, and here is we mentioned that. So suppose you see that so suppose here is, so this is ordered list. Only the difference is, so instead of UL and here is we are writing OL. Instead of UL, we are writing OL. By default, so it print the values like this: 1, 2, 1, 1 dot beetroot, so 2 dot ginger, 3 dot potato, and 4 dot radish, right? So understood that by default in ordered list it prints numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. For example, unordered list means when you are given the students list, but we don't know how many students are there. But when you are given the ordered list, so it will be numbered. So then automatically we can identify the number. So this is the ordered list. So in that ordered list, for example, so in this ordered list, you have to print with only ones like this. For this one, and here is also we can use the type attribute. Here is also we can use type attribute. So OL type is equal to 1, default case numerals. So that is the numerical value that will be displaying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to n number. If the list contains 100 names, so it displays 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 100. By default also it print the numerals. Or suppose sometimes, so if you want to specify list with capital Romans, so that is the capital Roman values. Suppose Roman number 1, Roman number 2, 3 are like that. So then here is we can use a OL type is equal to, so capital I. We can write capital I. When you are writing the capital I, so that means, so the list can be displayed with the Roman number. And OL type is equal to small I means it displays the small Roman number, small Roman. So that is the lowercase numerals with the Roman numbers. So OL type is equal to A means lowercase letters. OL is lowercase letter and OLA is uppercase letters. So then here is, that is the lowercase and uppercase. So values of this. I think I have understood that.
Yes, sir.
So in ordered list, so we can specify the order of the list by using numerical values or capital alpha, new Roman numbers or small Roman numbers or alphabetical, capital alphabetical or small alphabetical. But here is, in that case we can use, suppose for example you see that, so within that the same list I have taken, so 4, because for easily understanding purpose I have taken the only 4. Then you see that OL type is equal to 1. Within the double quotes I wrote type is equal to 1. When you are writing the type is equal to 1, automatically the numbers will be given like this, 1, 2, 3, 4 something. This is the type. Or suppose if I had given, so OL type is equal to capital I. Here is OL type is equal to capital I. So here is the numbers will be given capital number, roll number. Suppose Roman number 1, Roman number 2, Roman number 3, Roman number 4, or 6, 7 something. All the Roman numbers will be specifying the order. Or for example, if you have taken that is the small I, when you are using the small I, so then automatically in front of this it will display the small I of this one, right? So OL type is equal to I, so then here is this display the type. So OL is equal to OL. Within the OL tag we can use the type attribute. So type is equal to capital A. When you specify that capital A, automatically that displays A, B, C, D or something like this, capital A, B, C, D. But when you display that as small a, so OL type is equal to small a, and the list is contains small a, small b, small c, small d. That is a small a is beetroot, small b is ginger, small c is equal to potato, small d is వచ్చేసి radish. So I have understood that. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the type. So, but so suppose while I am explaining that, always I had given it starts from 1 and it increases 1 by 1 like this, or it starts with A and increases 1 by 1 like this, or it starts with like this. So sometimes, so we can give the list with different numbers. Suppose list may be started with 2. List may be started with 2 and 2 to 8. Suppose if you want to give the list, here is, you see that the list contains A, B, C, D. But here is I want to start this list with D. D, C, D, 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 E, F, G, H like this. I don't want to use A, B, C. Then how it is possible? So for this purpose, and here is you can do that OL type is equal to 1. Start, here is another attributes we can use, start attribute. Start attributes will specify the starting number of the list. It specifies the starting number of the list. So for example, so suppose in the laboratory, for example, you see that, so when you come to the laboratory, right? So actually we'll give the, so that is the, so in the end examinations, so we can call the roll number 1, 2, 3, 4 up to like that. Or suppose first 3 numbers are absent, but when you start that the first 3 numbers are absent, so then we can start with the 4th number, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we can call 4, 5, 6, 7 like that. So that's why here is the starting is 4. That means all the list of items will start with 4 and remaining will be printed 4, 5, 6, 7 up to n. Or here is OL type I is equal to start 4. So that is the numeral start with 4. Roman number start with 4. But the list does not contain 1, 2, 3 like this. But actually items are there. Items are same, but the number should be changes. That's enough, right? So small type 4 or small type 4 or small type 4. But when you see that, so when you display this, suppose here is OL type I start 4. Start 4 means you see that. So that is the beetroot started with 4, ginger started with 5, potato started with 6, and radish started with 7. But in the previous case, what is the number of beetroot? What was the number of the beetroot? 1. But here is 4. Suppose if you want to start the starting number with any number, then we can use the start. So that is the start. So ending is always, you need not to specify that ending, because automatically, so only sometimes we can change the starting, but ending means whenever you stop, so that is the ending. So there is a no attribute. So that means in the list we can use the start attribute. That means the start attribute means the start attribute specifies the starting number of the list. Starting number of the list, right? This is the thing. Or suppose here is if I had given small I, so that's why here is I got a small 4. Suppose if I had given 1, and here is that will be print 4, 5, 6, 7. Or suppose if and here is the 4 means suppose small a and 4 means it prints A, B, after that, so that is the D, E, F, G like this. So always that start with the 4 like this. This is the fourth scale of this values. I think I have understood that. But here is there is another attribute is there. That attribute is value. That attribute is value. So for example, suppose here is always I am giving the sequence numbers. So that is the 4, 5, 6 and 7. But only the starting should be specifying. But here is I want to give the ginger is a 1. But here is the 4, 1, 2 different numbers I have to give. So that is not in the order. So the different number. So the for first beetroot, so I will give 4, and for ginger again I want to give 1. But how it is possible? For that purpose, here is there is a value attribute is there. Value attribute. For example, that value attribute will be specified within the li. Within the li. Now I will show that. So this is the ordered list. Suppose when you see that this is the ordered list, but here is so the first thing is I mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the default. So only when you are using so OL tag and last one is /OL tag. But here is by default each list of item we take the numerals 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n. Or suppose you can specify 1, 2, 3, either both are same. Or next here is Roman 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is here is in front of the list. We can use the Roman 1, 2, 3, 4 list. So because when we are designing the rules for colleges or universities, most of the cases we use the Roman number, right? Roman number 1, 2, 3. So not this numeral values. So small Roman numbers. And here is the list can be specified A, B, C, D, and here is the list can be specified a small A, B, C, D. But suppose, so if I want to use this start with a specified number, now you see that here is it started with 2, 3, 4 and 5. So there is no 1, but the list is same, but the starting number order should be 2, 3, 4, 5. And here is you see that value, but here is I mentioned that beetroot is 1 and ginger is 3. Ginger is 3. So what about 2? But suppose in the previous case when you are given that, so number should be always in sequence 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. But here is after 1 without 2 we got 3, or so that is the 4, 5. So in that cases within the li tag, so we can use value attribute. Li tag we can use the value attribute. Now so you see this program. So how we write this program? Now you see that. So the first one is the same. So doc type HTML, or here is HTML header, title, ordered list or head, and after that body. Within the body I wrote that is the list of items. Suppose here is I am using, so then here is a list. Wherever you want you can use the list of items. Suppose you see that, and here is so OL, so that is the OL, and beetroot or this li closing every item. So by default you got 1, 2, 3 like that, and next one is type is equal to 1. We can get the 1, 2, 3. Our type is equal to capital New Roman 1, and the type is equal to small I, and the type is equal to capital A, and the type is equal to small a. So we wrote all the things at the first one. So when small a means, so next list of items small a, small b, small c, like that. So next start with the specified number. Here is you see that the second case. So already I shown that. Now you see that up to this. So small a ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ఇది వస్తుంది, capital A this one, small Roman number, capital Roman number 1 2 3, and default is this one. But here is start with a specified number 2 3 4 and 5. Now you see that, so the same thing we mentioned. So that is we mentioned that, so same thing. So here is start with a specified number. You see that, and here is I start with 2. I start with 2. So type I small I. That means, so that is the Roman numbers. It start with 2 instead of 1. Now you see that it started with 2, but there is no I 1. So like this. Our next one is, you see that, so suppose here is HTML value specified number. For example, type is equal to 1 2 3, and here is I wrote like this. You see that li, within the li I am using one attribute, that is the value. So value is I had given 3. So that means for the first item it will take 1, and the second item it will take 3. From this 3 it start 3 4 5 6 like this. For example, in the class, suppose 1 or 2 students are detained. Suppose when you say that, while you are posting the marks, suppose the 2 3 students may be detained. So their numbers are not included in the list, right? When the numbers are not included in the list, so then you have to eliminate that. Eliminate that means, suppose, so that is the roll number. Roll number 2 is detained. You do that. Don't think otherwise, Nana. Roll number 2 is detained. So then we can write 1 li with 3. So then automatically 3 4 5 6 up to n. So wherever detained list is, then if you want to keep that disorder, then we can use the value attribute within the li thing. So that means this is the li can be used to, so specify the, so number, order number of particular element in the list, particular element in the list. This is called ordered list. Have understood that? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is the list of items. Suppose if you want to mention the list of items, you can use. So in ordered list, so we can use one attribute is a type, and the second attribute is a start. Within the OL, we can use the type and the start. But in the, so that is li having only one attribute, that is the value attribute. So that we can change the value of this. And the next one is definition list. Definition list or definition list. So that means here is whatever you are taken the, so that is the full form. So if you want to know the full form or meaning of that, so then we can use the definition list or dictionary list. We can call it as a definition list or dictionary list. So in the definition list, so the list in the definition list, the value should be in the form of dictionary, in English dictionary. So when you go to that any dictionary, so when you are given the word or synonyms of that, suppose if you are good, so suppose whenever you mention that, so for example you say that mean, suppose if you want to find out the mean, so then there may be some mean means, so that is the average of all the numbers. They can give the meaning, that is the definition as well as meaning. So within the web page, so if you want to specify the meaning as well as that word, then we can use the define list. Suppose HTML, HTML. Suppose I keep that HTML. Suppose you are well known, so that's why you can say that, yeah, it is okay. So you can know the full form of that HTML. XML means that is the extended, so that is the hypertext markup language. But we know that HTML or XML, DXTML, so dynamic HTML. So we know that, but other people, suppose the mechanical or electrical people, they don't know what is the full form of that HTML. So then, so when you are introducing that HTML, if you are keeping that thing on the screen, or suppose who, HOW, that is the World Health Organization. Suppose when you are keeping that who, so some people will understand that who is nothing but that is the, so that is the everyone at వస్తుంది. So instead of that who means we can specify the meaning. If you want to specify that, and here is we can use the third category of list is definition list. HTML supported the list style which is called definition list, where entries are listed like in dictionary or encyclopedia. The definition list is so that is the definition list is the ideal way to represent the glossary list of terms or other name or value list. So then it will contain the value and the list. Most of the cases in the big data we can use the name and value list. Suppose this list is defined with the DL tag. We can define the definition will be given DL tag, and the term DT means that is the D term. DT means definition. So DL means instead of OL and instead of UL we can use the DL. DL means that is the definition list. It contains term. Term is nothing but a short form, that is HTML. DD means term definition, that is the meaning of that can be represented within the definition. For example, you see that, and here is this is the DL is the list, and here is DT. Within the DT I wrote that is the block for printing the block block and full bold ga print అవ్వాలని B పెట్టాము. DT HTML I written. DD, in the DD tag it gives the definition of that DD means that is the definition of the list. So that is the DD. So HTML, this stands for hypertext markup language, and DT, another term we are defining, HTTP, this stands for hypertext transfer protocol, that is the DL body and HTML. Now you see this output is this will produce the following results. HTML, this stands for hypertext markup language. HTTP means this stands for hypertext transfer protocol. The output should be like this. For example, when you use this, so suppose whenever you are using this same thing, now you see the output of this. So for example, so definition list, suppose you see that HTML define list, HTML here is written, and this stands for HTML, HTTP, and this stands for hypertext transfer protocol. If you want to print the data like this, if you want to print the values like this, we can use the definition list. Now same thing I written. So this is up to this HTML definition list header, and within the body I wrote heading is H1 definition list, and DL, and here is the closing DL, and DT means term. Within the DT I written that is the HTML DT. So DD stands for this one. So DD of this value. So when you are executing that, so we are getting the output is like this. So these are the lists we can mention in the screen, right? But here is you may get some problem like this. Suppose how do you specify this? Suppose here is when you are printing this, so always so this will be printed on the left side. Suppose here is when you are using all the list of items will be printing left side. For example, the first list will be at the right side and second will be at the center. So then automatically you specify that align attribute. Now you see that in that case I can write OLALIGN, align is equal to right. Align is equal to right. So when I am writing that is align is equal to right, so then automatically, so that is alignment should be like this. You see that ordered list and this one. So this has come at right side, right? Or so suppose when you are using that it is a center, align is equal to center. So then we can write, suppose for example, so in the second list I am using Align is not right centered. Align is centered. You see that list center ko chesindi. Align is center like this. So ila kakunda suppose if you want to specify the color or type, so then we can use the CSS. So that is here is, for example, if I want to give it as a suppose in this case I want to specify the color. So in the DS, suppose in the DT we can give style. Style is equal to, then within that you can use the color colon red. Color colon red. సో ఇదంతా వచ్చేపాటికి మనకి ఏంటంటే అందులో now you see that HTML రెడ్ గా వచ్చింది, మిగతాదంతా ఇలాగే ఉంది. So I have understood that. So later on I explain that how to fill the colors, how to specify the font size, how to specify the list in the CSS. So the cascade style sheet, with the help of that cascade style sheet we can add some more things to this one. So these are the list of items. Have understood that? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు ఆ లిస్ట్ వచ్చేపాటికి లిస్ట్ తో వచ్చేసేసి then you can give the values. So here is the total, what are the tags we have studied. So OL tag, that is for representation of ordered list. UL tag, that used for unordered list. LI, so that is the list item for representing individual items. LI operator, so that is the OL type. We have to specify the type of the number, either capital A or small a, capital Roman or small Roman, and numerals. And start, that will be specify the starting position of the value. UL type, that specify the, so that is the UL type that specify the, either for unordered list you can use the disk, circle or square. By default it prints the disk. So LI value, that is the, already we know that if you want to change the order of list numbers, then we can use value type, value within the LI. So DL means that is the definition list. DT means definition is term, definition term, and DD means so detailed definition of the term. DD means definite term. So these are the tags we have studied in the list, right? So now you write down that program. So that is HTML program. Write a program to display ordered list, unordered list, and definition list, and detailed definition, that is the definition list with specifying things. That is the three lists you have to display that. This is the one question, because so most of the cases in the first unit only the syntax they will ask. A list is a very important, or text properties may be important, or so suppose they will ask the write a syntax of that videos, audios are like this. But when you practice, so when you divide that, when you try to design one website, then automatically you can know everything, right? So కాబట్టి ఏంటంటే GitHub లో మీరు ఒక నేమ్, రోల్ నెంబర్, మీరు ఒక ఇది క్రియేట్ చేసేసుకొని అందులో పోయేసేసి మీ ఫైల్స్ అన్ని, ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ if I want to display the list